Happy May 14th. It's Thursday. Welcome to another exciting edition of Rate Desk. I'm your host, Michael Thomas, here to talk about multifamily interest rates, among other news. First, let's go to the markets. Today, the major indices are up. Of particular note, the prices of crude oil futures are in the $27 a barrel range. Nice to see that. That's great. The U.S. 10-year Treasury yields continue to ease off of where they were. If you remember midweek with that big $32 billion auction, they're now trading at 62.62 is where they are trading at today. Jumping over to the multifamily interest rates, 223F HUD loan quoting at 250 today. That is fixed for 35 years. And the 221D4 quoting at 315. That is 3.15 for 40 years. Jumping over to agencies, rates again flat in that arena. Fannie Mae DUS 320, and we're looking at Freddie Mac as we have been for a while in the 10-year in the 320 to 335 range. What I want to talk to you about today are things you can do now to help set you up for future multifamily development. Going to Chula Vista, California. That's right, part of San Diego, but way down south, right near the border, where my dad lives. In fact, they have a big old multifamily development where a land acquisition took place, and they're planning to develop 480 units. That is a nice size development. Nice to see things moving forward. Of course, the land acquisition gives you some time to put all the other pieces in place, but nice to see that there's forward momentum occurring in that marketplace. Point number 2 I want to make today is we all saw with the reducing interest rates in this market, Fed cut the rates. Obviously, that's a big impact on short term, but the long-term rates have been impacted by the continuing purchasing of corporate bonds and U.S. treasuries, etc., by the Fed. So we are in a very low interest rate environment. Those of us on the lending side of the equation have been expecting a gigantic refinance boom. Don't think we've seen it yet. Why is that? Economic uncertainty. So as we pull our heads out of that arena, we are entering what I consider one of the greatest refi booms I've seen potentially in multifamily investing in multifamily portfolios. Really incredibly low long-term fixed rates. Unless your property has just tremendous move-outs or tremendous uncertainty, there are ways to mitigate what's happening at the property level and reserve for anything that you foresee may be a problem going forward. So I encourage you to take a very close look at your multifamily portfolio. Let me remind you again, the 223F rate is at 250, fixed for 35 years. I want to talk about other rates, just to give you an example, okay? I pulled the Wall Street Journal out. Guess what other rates are at 250? None. Looking at a 30-year mortgage, they're quoting 355. That's on a consumer mortgage, non-jumbo. Jumbo mortgage, 363, 3.63. Okay, you could get yourself a new car loan for maybe 428, all right? But guess what? You could refinance $100 million of multifamily debt at 250. That's nuts. Anyway, hopefully folks are gonna start to wake up to this fact. And as long as you have good property plans in place, work closely with your property managers, mitigate that risk, have a cash surplus set aside. This is the time, folks, okay? Really take a look at those portfolios. And I'm gonna end today's episode on that note. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rate Desk. This is your host, Michael Thomas, signing off.